Next up, we have Deeper, Volume 2 Pressure Game OST by Ren No Longer Null. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Support the channel as much as you want. And of course, two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first... for this one, this is my second time hearing this track, because Ren requested it. Hi, Ren, how you doing? And this is recorded live on stream on a single take, so I might stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. So, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's check out Deeper. Let's go. Okay, so we start with piano with a little bit of delay. So when it comes to music and audio, there are two types of echo that you can have. There's reverb and... There we go. There's reverb and there's delay. So when it comes to these two, they are basically different scales, different just magnitudes, right? Reverb is if you're in an empty church, if you're in a concert hall and it's empty, it's that kind of echo. Delay is if you have you're at the Grand Canyon and you yell, right? It's the amount of time, it's that delayed echo. So right now we're having that with a very simple piano, very, very straightforward, giving us our motif. And of course, motif being the smallest version of our musical idea, the essence, the seed from which everything else comes from. So, we're having that giving us a very, very lovely intro. The tone of the piano seems to be a fairly basic sample library. So, let's see where this goes. So yes, something I want to point out over here, because Ren actually asked me for feedback and everything, so this one's going to be a little bit different than the usual, because Ren actually personally asked me to provide actual feedback to where I would do things differently, and stuff like that. So in this case, I'm going to talk about dynamics. So when it comes to music, we have something called dynamics. In the technical terms, we call this we call it velocity. And that is just how hard or how soft you actually play a note in an instrument. Because there's a difference between velocity and volume. Volume is something that you have an active knob for. Like you have a volume knob. Everybody has a volume slider nowadays for everything. Velocity, however, is the difference between playing a violin, you know, you have the bow and you're barely touching, you're playing the very slow, barely touching, and going all out, right? Like there's a big difference between those two, and that is velocity. And right now, and it happens a lot with musicians who don't fully, I'm not gonna say they don't fully grasp, but they don't entirely do the whole thing they don't spend enough time checking out the range for the instrument, or it doesn't take into account that the instruments will sound differently if you play them soft or loud. And Mystic, thank you for the 15 bits. Do you already react to Sewer Creature by Ren? Because if you already requested, by the way, Deeper is so good. I don't know. We only have one. We've only done one song by Ren so far from the Pressure OST. It's on the channel now. So yes, so in this case, so what was it? Yes, so in this kind of things, if you're going to start with a solo piano, I would advise against having it in the middle range of the dynamics. Because when it comes to dynamics, you have between piano, or the different forms of piano to forte. Piano means soft, forte means strongly, or loudly, that kind of thing. And the full name of the keyboard instrument we know is the pianoforte, because it was the first one engineered to be the first keyboard instrument to be engineered to have an actual dynamic range. So when it comes to piano, and you want to make an impression, especially if the piano is the first thing playing by itself, Unless it's a lot of block chords, play it softly. Either play it softly or play it loudly. Like, go for one of the extremes in terms of piano or forte. Go for piano for forte, mezzo piano, mezzo forte, which is like in between. It doesn't always impact as much. Like this thing over here, which, by the way, the motif reminds me of the main theme of Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm not going to play it right now, but it just reminds me of it. And what I would say is this piano in a soft piano, that would be a lot more powerful. It still works. It's just the difference that I would have gone for it. Let's see where this goes. Super Ninja, welcome to the day. How you doing? So yes, we are hearing the motif being played. And what this is called is sequencing. So when it comes to music and counterpoint being the study of melodies, how they are, how they develop, how they interact with each other, you have one way of developing it, which is called sequencing. So when it comes to the motifs, in this case, we have a very simple downward arch, basically, when it comes to our motif. Sequencing means start repeating the motif, but just from a different point in the scale. So it would just look basically the same thing. We're just doing it from different places. Every once in a while, we're engaging in some other variations, that kind of thing. So we're having that, and yeah, we're almost 30 seconds in, so let's see where it goes. We're doing something else. Okay, so you can hear how we changed a lot. We added some guitars, some electric guitars, some bass to this, and the piano is repeating. This is really cool, by the way. This is really, really cool. So another thing that you could do here is remind me later, 60 hertz, because I have my thoughts on that. So we are bringing in a bunch of instruments and we are doing doublings. So when it comes to instrumentation and orchestration, a doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. And in this case, what we are going for is, it seems we're going for a more dramatic version of the motif, right? That's why there's no drum beat, there is no... not much in terms of percussion going on. It's fairly slow. This is a very dramatic build-up that we are doing over here. So when it comes to doublings, you really, really want that for this kind of thing. Let's see where this goes, because we got a guitar, we got the piano, we got a couple of other things. And a synth. We have a synth. So yes, we still have the piano playing those same motifs. Now we're escalating higher and higher up. We're adding a couple of synths, giving us a little bit more distortion, kind of like an alarm bell, like a siren alarm kind of thing. Very much giving us that echo. That delay is now being occupied by that synth. It's very cool so far. Let's see where this goes. And cadence into another percussion. Okay, so we basically are repeating again, and we've introduced some strings. We've introduced a couple of violins. I think it's violin and a cello. Yes, so a violin and a cello. We're having those very, very dramatic. The change I would make here, because this is very, very lovely, I would change the violin for a violin section. What is the difference between a violin and a violin section? A violin section is, instead of one violin, 10, 12, 14, 16 violins, a lot more. Usually for this, if I were to be doing this one, I wouldn't just make the full string orchestra. I would just come up with the full string orchestra. So what is a string orchestra? A string orchestra is two sections of violins, one section of violas, one section of cellos, and one section of double basses. So this kind of string orchestra and most no, it's not like you, and most softwares that we have nowadays, most sampling softwares have these built in so that you don't have to, you don't have to manually add the individual violins. So what I would be doing is I would have one of the sections of the violins and the cello section doing exactly what Ren is doing right now, and then I would have the other section of the violins and the violas doing counterpoint, having them in thirds, so having them very much be almost the same melody, just in a different point, like two similar parallel melodies, basically doing the same thing, pretty much playing chords, but it's very, very pretty. It's a very beautiful thing of harmonized melody. And the double basses, just have them doing the bass line, like just the exact same thing that the bass line is doing, maybe with a little bit of a melody in between the two. Because right now, what we're having a very, very beautiful track. We're having a very beautiful track that can have a call and response. You can have a very beautiful call and response, because when the motif ends, there's this moment of echo. And what you can do here to increase the drama is fill that moment of echo, especially now that we've heard it, 4 times by now? 3-4 times the whole way through. You can have that moment of echo be filled up with a contrary motion, or like a response type of melody. So the motif that we have is going down. So in this moment of echo, you could have, let's say, the violins and the first violins, cellos have the motif going down the way that it is right now. And in response, the second violins and the violas have a melody that goes back up. So now you go from having this very beautiful downwards going melody to this more dynamic flow. And it's just, Let's see how this goes. No, and so no, we're doing live queue after this. Okay. And there you go. We're adding a couple of extra things. And now the change is we are bringing the thing. Don't worry, Blue Boom. This is not live queue yet. And we are having this. We took away part of the keyboards and everything, and we've brought in a string quartet, which is almost the same as the string orchestra. It's just instead of it being the sections of like 10, 12 of each, it is just one of each, which is still nice. It's still nice. I just think this one, you could 100% increase the scale of this, give it a lot more volume in that way. So there we go. There's a bit more dynamics. So now we're adding a bit more. We have changed over. Okay, so now we are changing to we're in a completely new part now. We are in the next section, the next motif, which is basically the second half. So now the first half, where the first motif used to be, is now empty with the echoes of the second half of this motif. So very good, very good. And for this section, I would add, now for the first half, like the first repeat, keep it as is. Second repeat, bring in the orchestra again, because for this kind of stuff, it is good to get to reduce the scale back to like the basic elements of it, like the small ensemble, and then bring in back up. I am a big fan of brass for this kind of thing, like some French horns in like very quietly playing those horns, very yeah, don't bother requesting yet until we finish this one. Let's see. We are increasing this, and we're bringing echoes of the first motif. Yup. Like over here, I would just put some French horns, maybe the tuba and the trombones as well, just playing some very lovely chords. And the way you build chords with the trombones and with brass is a little bit complicated, but if you do it right, you get this super warm, mellow sound. It is just very, very lovely. It's incredible the kind of sound that you can get with this kind of brass. It's absolutely wild, right? So you bring that, you continue doing what you're doing. You just have the horns being held up. You can have them even go in crescendo and decrescendo, right? So crescendo is that you get louder, like you do use those dynamics to go louder. Decrescendo is that you go quieter. So you can go from piano to mezzo piano, back to piano. So very subtle. With those horns, especially the French horns, in those very low chords, like fairly low chords, very close together, and you can get a beautiful backdrop to what is already a very beautiful piece. Let's see where this goes. We got 30 seconds left. Yep, now we bring back the first motif, and oh, I thought it was going to continue going for a bit longer. Okay, there you go. So now it's just a bleed out. So that is just a bleed out. Bleed out just means you are letting the natural echo of the instruments finish their echo. Like you're letting the energy dissipate properly. And there you go. That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. And I think this you can 100% turn into like a 7-minute track. Like this can easily extend. Like if you know how to develop these motifs further, you can turn this into a full orchestral piece. 100%. You can 100% just take everything orchestral, maybe a drum beat somewhere over there. But yeah, it was very cool. That was very, very cool. There you have it. That was Deeper from the Volume 2 Pressure Game OST by Ren. So, yeah, there you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. I will address that in a moment. So, if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I'll be linking it down below. If you want to request a song, by the way, if you're on the live stream, you can start requesting. If you are not on the live stream, you need to go to the Discord. Link down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned messages. And if you want to catch the live streams when they happen, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. The full schedule in your local time zone is on the Twitch and the Discord linked down below. And yeah, there you go. This one was a quick one, but yeah, that was very nice. That was very nice. There you go. Deeper from the Pressure Game OST. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah.